This is Kindred of New York, a Vampire the Masquerade actual play story. I'm your storyteller, Yirco, and my troupe includes JT as Mick Birmingham, Trish as Valerie Moreau, and Austin as Devola Brightly. This is episode 1, Elysium. And as a special first episode note, please forgive my pauses, my ums, my ahs. It happens every time I start a new story, and I'll get into the groove soon, I promise. It is September 14th, 2023 in New York City. The sun is starting to set. The light from the setting sun is still shining over the city, still reflecting off of the glass and the steel, bouncing over the brownstones and the concrete and whatever the fuck that scaffolding is made of. And as the sun dips and the night becomes properly dark, the city is still lit by streetlights, by the lights of the city buildings, and the city is still moving. In Bushwick, a neighborhood in Brooklyn, there is a nightclub called Ascension. And in that club, as the sun sets, 3 kindred awaken. So, I'm going to have each of you make a rouse check. You're starting at 1 hunger. I know we played a little bit beforehand, and but there's been some time, so you would have gotten to eat. So everyone start at 1 hunger and then make a rouse check.
Please just lay out for us what that is one more time.
You roll 1 die, a d10, and if you get a 6 or higher, you succeed, and that's fine.
Right.
If you get a 5 or below, you failed, and your hunger increases by 1.
Gotcha. I rolled exactly a 6.
Well done.
I've acquired a 9.
Oh.
Very good.
A D10. Okay. I rolled a 9.
Hey yo.
Hey yo.
Look at us. Look at us, like real vampires.
Like lucky vampires.
Yes.
Sure.
Well, I mean, you know how I like to start these things with a hunting scene or 2, but it seems that there's no need. We're gonna have to learn how these kindred hunt another time. The 3 of you are going to wake up at the same time. Like, exactly the same time. So, it's a matter of who would like to introduce their character first. Maybe tell me a little bit about what you might call your evening routine immediately after you wake up at dusk. Remember, so the club has 2 floors. There's the ground floor, which is the public floor, the dance floor with the stage and the DJ booth and etc. And then the second floor is the office administration and your haven. So, we didn't map out this club perfectly yet. So you have a little leeway on where exactly you spent the day. and how you go about the first hours of the night.
Cool.
Who'd like to go first?
I will.
Fuck yeah, go for it.
All right. Honestly, I kind of take him to be an early. I know he said we all wake up at the same time, but he's probably pretty quick
Mhm.
to his feet. Mickey, or as most know him, Mick. He's as he gets up from where he's resting. In this particular situation, he's probably just wearing just some really loose jeans. Yes, he sleeps in his jeans, and just a hoodie on top of that. He's probably actually pulling the hood open because he's tightened it to close around his face when he sleeps. So he just gets that off, pushes it back. He has a bleached hair that's about medium length, probably comes down to about his jawline. Gray eyes, and he's kind of not, I don't want to say gangly, but he's not fit. He's just kind of, average in his physical appearance. As he's getting up, his room is a mess. He's got cassette tapes and stuff on the ground with probably an old boombox he found somewhere, just sitting off to the side, probably at a Goodwill. He goes, picks some clothes up off the floor that he's gonna get into for now. Opens the door, and as he's going down past their rooms, he's just reaching up and just slamming on the door as he walks past. Oi! Time to get up! And he's just as he goes each one.
What an
And he
ass.
would make his way to the bathroom. If I don't know if we decide if they have individuals or if they share one. If so, the players. Sorry, the character's not. He just.
I'm gonna say I don't think you could have separate bathrooms. I think you guys
I
are gonna
didn't
have to
think
share
so.
a bathroom. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's going straight for it. And he's goes in, tosses his clothes to the side, whether they end up on the floor or on a counter, whatever. He's gonna turn on the sink. And he's gonna look at himself in the mirror, and he has a perpetual 5 o'clock shadow. Like that is what he was like when he was embraced. When he was embraced, he was not looking too pretty, and he's just going to take a look at himself for a minute because he knows what's going on tonight, and he's making decisions, and he looks around, and just to describe it quickly, he does not shave. He reaches for the razor, shaves both sides of his head and a little bit of the top, so he makes it so he's completely bald on top except for this one strip of hair that goes from front to back. It's the regular length. And then he grabs a bottle of really cheap hair dye, like jet black hair dye that may look a little blue when it's done because the dye color is just not right. And he's just going to put it all through that bit of hair that's left. And he's going to wash up it, toss the clothes on and exit. And if they're not up yet, he's just going to go past their doors again and hit harder each door. And
How often does okay, so I was gonna ask, how often does Mick do that? And I came to realize I mean both things. How often does Mick bang on everyone's door, and how often does Mick change his hair in the morning?
If he
Or in the
sees
evening.
if he sees that
Me.
if he sees that he's up before they are, you got shit to do. So he's hitting the door. This is normal. If they're up before him, he doesn't bother them. Doing his hair, he does something. Okay, so it depends on his mood, and what he does also depends on his mood. He tried to do something a little clean today, but he'll do different colors. He'll style it in different ways. It's not every single day, but just if the mood strikes him, which probably more times than not it does.
Man, who cleans the drain?
I mean, if the next day comes around and nobody's done it, he'll do it. But
No.
Oh, that's nice of him.
yeah,
Devola doesn't need to shave, so
I
It's,
imagine Mick's the only one between the three of them that looks like garbage and has to do this. So.
Yeah.
So, like I said, you all would have woken up at the same time, so both the other two would be hearing Mick banging on your doors. Who would like to go next? Tell us the wee evening routine. of your day.
I'll go next.
Yes, please go for it.
All right. So, character description. Devola is when she was embraced, she was around 21. She is very pretty looking, petite, short blonde hair. Her eyes are usually blue, but she wears contacts to make them gold. She gets out of her bed, changes out of her nightgown into, starts getting ready for the event for the night. So she puts on a nice gold and white frilly dress. It's not very long. It goes a little bit around the knee area for her. And by the time, when Mickey knocks on the door, she kind of rolls her eyes, and then she turns on some music and is in her own little headspace for a while before. And she's still doing that by the time Mickey comes back and pounds on her door again. She basically just ignores the pounding. After a few moments have passed from the second round, she'll get out and just kind of wait in the hall, or I don't know how the building's set up, but she'll wait out in a communal area where she expects to see her roommates once they're all ready to go.
In the sort of administrative section of the upstairs, there will be like there's a portion for security and a portion for conference, for lack of a better word. So that could be a good place for you guys to hang out.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Sick.
All right.
So that leaves one more.
Me.
Yeah.
No. Mickey can go again. I'm kidding. So I think Valerie's morning is gonna consist of just getting ready with the outfit I had in mind and everything. I just imagine it's probably gonna take a while. Valerie's about like 5'7", 135. She's pretty professional, like overall. Like she, unlike me, doesn't slouch ever and kind of holds her chin up straight. I would say, like, if Mick decides to get out of the bathroom at some point, she'll go in there and give herself a little haircut too. Normally she has a very thick, like long, I'd say like chest length black hair, and she's probably gonna cut it to like maybe do like a wolf cut. I think that's the term these kids are using for like a lot of layers and like fringy bangs and stuff.
Doodling wolf cuts.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
that's a look.
and probably cut it a little shorter. We're looking like to the shoulders instead of the chest, so just make it look a little different. Her eyes are very light blue, like almost gray, and very piercing. While like her features are very soft and innocent, the eyes are a little spooky to look at. There's that hint of deranged in there. So, as for clothing, she's gonna put on this tight leather dress that's kind of got some like buckles and stuff on it, a little short, barely covering the necessary goods, and some platform booties, and go say hi to everybody.
When
How-
Mickey
How many times have you dressed like this since you've known your coterie?
Dressed up this much, in terms
In-
of like weather, not like maybe they've seen it once. So, and it was probably when she was leaving that one night.
Right.
So,
Alright.
but other than that, it's a lot more casual. Probably like sneakers and, shorts and shirts and stuff. So, yeah. Oh, that's it.
When Mick came back through the second time to bang on their doors, he was going back to his room. He shut the door loud enough they'd probably know where he is, unless they weren't paying attention, obviously.
So I'll go bang on Mick's door.
Hurry up and wake up. I'm going back to bed. What an asshole.
For real.
I'm getting fucking dressed. Hold on a minute.
You're taking too long.
Yeah, well, fuck you. He's. I don't know if you would have heard that. He's like muttering while he's in there, probably cursing under his breath as he's trying to get this thing on.
I'll just
And he
bang really hard on the door again and just walk away.
Probably as you're walking away, he opens the door. I mean, you know what he's wearing, Valerie, but he walk out. He has a black coat on, dress coat on, black slacks, shiny white shoes, like, dress shoes, nice dress shoes. Under the jacket, he has a white shirt and a black tie, and his hair is, well, you wouldn't be able to see it, but it is slicked back, and he has a black fedora on top of that.
Wow. That's different.
Yeah.
That's not what I was expecting.
5 o'clock shadow, though, he didn't shave.
She kind of turns and then looks a little sassy, puts her hand on her hips, and goes, you do clean up okay.
Oh, no.
And she's gonna turn around and walk away from him.
He's just gonna chuckle and follow after you.
We joining.
Both look.
You had to, if you got it, go for it.
Oh, assuming they're both walking towards the communal area, he would just say, "You both look nice. Ready to do this again?"
I'm excited.
Are you?
Yeah.
Any particular reason?
Well, I haven't seen Victor in a while, so.
I'm not excited.
Oh, are you worried about Gareth? That
I
came out a
don't-
little sassier than I intended it to, but
I'm not sure if worried's the right word, or just fucking irritated that I might run into him.
I mean, that's completely valid.
Would you like to talk about it?
Yeah, I was getting there. I'm still in work mode, man. And do you want to talk about your feelings, Mick?
Oh, get that shit out of your mouth. I know what you do for a living.
You should. You should just, hire me for an hour. It might change your life.
I live with you. Why would I want to hire you?
So I can get paid for dealing with you?
Yeah, because you're the one that needs payment for that.
There's a little knock on the door to your little common conference room.
Oh shit, they arrived? I was waiting.
This is you would know who this is. It's coming from the security wing, you could say. This is a routine thing. This is Boris. Boris, he comes in not long before you all would be waking up, and he gets like his team ready. he oversees like the bouncers and the club security for the upcoming night. He checks in on the people who stay during the day and that sort of thing. But he does know not to enter this room
Uninvited.
uninvited. Yes, he
Okay.
knocks first and he waits for you to bring him in. Boris, he came with the club. He used to work for your sire, Devola, and he's on the level. Not all of his security personnel are, but he is. So there's a little knock knock that you've heard dozens of times before. You know it's Boris.
Valerie will do like a little shuffle walk, or I should say like shuffle jog over, because platforms,
Mhm.
to grab the door. I don't know
Mickey's
if that
just
makes any
watching
sense.
this.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hi, Boris.
Evening.
Come on in.
Mickey would offer him a handshake when he comes in. I feel like Mickey's dealt with him a number of times as per what we talked about, what's been going on the past month.
Right. Good to see you, sir. And he
Yeah. You as well.
gives you a firm handshake. Boris he's a big guy.
Mhm.
Definitely a big guy, but not a meathead. You'd know. He knows that in his line of work, intimidation is half the battle. So he makes sure that you can see how big his arms are. And then hopefully he won't have to do any more than that. He looks to you, Devola, and he says, "Everything is checked out. We are ready for tonight. I know you'll be away most of the night."
Oh, wonderful, Boris. I trust you to take care of everything while we're gone.
Yes. Is any specific concerns for tonight?
Pauses for a little while. Not that I can think of. Should there be? She'll look to Mickey and Valerie.
Can't
Valerie
really think of
shrugs.
anything. Sorry.
Sorry,
Go ahead.
my bad. I just said she shrugs. My bad.
Okay. Can't really think of anything.
It's
Perhaps.
just I have always found that the new moon is worse than the full moon.
Oh yeah, full moon always brings out freaks, right? So gets people a little bit more crazier than normal. So keep your head on a swivel, but you already do that.
Yes, sir. I'm just being superstitious.
Nothing wrong with that.
He nods and he says, "If there is nothing else, then I will continue overseeing my team. I will be here tonight while you are away."
All right.
You
Thanks,
do you,
Lord.
Boris.
Yes, ma'am. And he heads back to the security area. He closes the door behind him. And it's about, with the wonders of modern technology, you can figure out exactly when dusk is, or would be on September 14th.
Boris is a good guy. I like him.
Mm-hmm. If anything
All right.
happens to Forest, I'm gonna kill. Anyway, sorry, no, no.
You
You're,
say
I,
that all the time. You need to calm down. It's suspicious.
um,
Not that vicious.
so dusk is at 8 or thereabout. We've all been kind of talking around it. The event, what's happening tonight?
Yeah.
Tonight is the night of Elysium. Elysium starts at midnight, but you all have to be there an hour early because, if you all recall, you work for the Keeper of Elysium. That's your responsibility in the city. So that gives you about 3 hours to kill. Say it probably took you like an hour or so to get ready, or would it be more? You guys tell me. You know your morning routine's better. Does it take longer than I'm assuming?
I mean, Mickey takes at least an hour because he does his hair and he
Right.
puts on clothes that are foreign to him.
Mm-hmm.
So he takes at least an hour.
I would say hour and a half for Valerie at least.
Hour and a half.
Yeah.
I don't know. Hard to say for Dev. This is like the shit she wears all the time. So, like,
She's practiced.
yeah, maybe she just slips right into it and is like, done.
Let's say it's like 10 o'clock.
Cool.
Which gives you I guess it just gives you an hour to get there. Guess you better get going.
Yeah.
Due to Mickey's previous actions, he has learned to reconsider his approach, and he now has a little container of toothpicks that he keeps, and he takes
Smart.
the toothpick out and puts it in his mouth.
Yes, we had a little incident with a cigarette.
I'm 4 months. I'm 4 months undead. You know.
Yeah,
give me
I had a hard lesson to learn that one time.
I think he handled it pretty well.
He did. He handled it well. Very good then. So before we head out, let's kind of go over some bookkeeping, just like establish some things.
Mm-hmm.
You all belong to the Camarilla, and as we've discussed, the Camarilla is trying to minimize its reliance on modern technology. Really, if you could lead an existence that does not require a phone at all, they would approve, but that's not tenable for most Kindred. So you all probably have phones. You are not supposed to bring it to Elysium. That is a very big no-no.
No, Mickey doesn't have a phone.
Mickey does not have a phone?
No, sir.
Can't afford it.
He was.
I'm not trying to be mean, but like he literally.
Well,
Living in
listen.
a
Like even
dumpster.
if he could now, couldn't afford one before. Therefore, he doesn't feel necessary to have one because he got along just fine without it. They said, "Hey, don't have a phone on you. It's we'd rather you not." And he's like, "Fine, that's easy." So
All right. Well,
it's not a sacrifice for him.
Mick doesn't have a phone. Good to know.
Mhm.
Dev and Valerie, you guys both have phones, I presume?
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Valerie. So, damn it. Now I have a question.
Ask your question.
So I was reading some stuff, on the lovely internets.
Yes.
About how like touchscreens actually work, and I'm wondering if vampires can actually use touchscreens.
So,
From a Bush of Life, right?
in the core book,
Every time.
it does say that if the touchscreen relies on moisture, then you can't use it without Blush of Life.
Okay.
When I've run games in the past, and it kind of just seems like the sort of consensus is to just kind of ignore that, or else you guys would be. Because remember, every time you use Blush of Life, you make a rouse check and you might get hungrier.
Make a
So-
rouse check every time you make a phone call.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
so that's.
I'm sorry, I'm just really hungry right now.
Seems more like a hindrance than a
Yeah.
feature.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like a fun obstacle or like an issue.
Oh my god, I just solved my problem. Stylus
What?
pen.
Stylus
Right.
pen.
Boom.
Stylus pen.
Boom.
Alright. Alright, so
styli are really popular amongst vampires.
I mean, they must be. That's hilarious.
So- yeah, Valerie's got a phone and her stylus pen, but it is being left.
Okay. Okay, so this is now canon that you see vampires using a stylus all the time.
It makes so much sense.
Yeah.
What this also
Yeah.
means is that if you lose your stylus, I will make you make the rouse checks for Blush of Life to use.
No!
All
You
right.
can also get those gloves that work on a touch screen, right? That's
Oh,
pretty much the same
shit,
thing.
yeah.
Oh, you probably could.
Yeah.
Well, same deal, right?
Yeah.
So yes,
Understood.
you have
Digging
cell
around.
phones. You're not supposed to bring them to Elysium. You're not supposed to contact other kindred with your phone. So with that said, did you two break the rules? Do you have each other's contacts in your phone?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's like. So that's
don't
at
have
home.
don't have other vamps on speed
No,
dial.
probably not. I mean, we're in the same domain,
Yeah.
same
Yeah.
coterie. So, like, if we were told that that's not to do that,
Well,
you wouldn't have
Valerie
done it.
does sometimes stay at her own haven, but yes, I totally agree. However, it would depend if, for Valerie, on Victor.
Victor has not expressed a strong opinion on cell phones.
That doesn't give me an answer.
I'm
It
sorry.
means he doesn't care. Do what you want.
Yeah.
Well, he would have to give me the number.
Right.
Mm.
I think he probably has some other way to get in touch with you.
Okay. Alright, so then no.
Okay. And are you both leaving your phones here for
Yes.
Elysium?
Yes.
Noted. Okay.
I'm only a little dumb, I promise.
You're not dumb.
So, are we walking?
Probably taking a train.
Okay, and we're leaving right now.
Probably should.
Damn it, hiccups.
So, as
Oh.
we are
You
traveling,
could get an Uber or something. Like,
at
sorry
some
to interrupt
point,
you.
yeah, you're okay. At some point while we are traveling, if Mick gets ahead of both of you at some point, you will see that as steadily as he could, he took white paint and painted an upside down cross on the back of his black jacket.
Bruh.
Bruh.
Mickey,
Okay.
why did you do that?
What?
The cross. That's new. That's not.
He
I
smiles.
I didn't
You
agree
like
to
it?
that.
It took a while to get that straight of a line. It was a little difficult.
I picked those out for you.
Oh, it's fine. This just means I'll wear it more in the future.
Do you know how much that cost?
No?
Good,
But
because
now it's-
Trisha doesn't either.
It's unique. It's mine.
I'm never buying you anything again.
I didn't ask you to buy it to begin with. I mean, thank you, but I didn't ask you to begin with. You see how I dress. You know what I do to my clothes. Besides,
Devola
like I
look
said, it's a very straight line. Pair of lines.
While this conversation is going on, I want to see reaction shot of Devola.
Honestly, I don't know if she's noticed.
That's so fair.
I just
That
love
is
that Dev
so fair.
has not a single thought between her eyes. Like, I'm just so here for it.
She's catching little bits of the conversation, but she's looking at other things as they're walking around.
There's a lot to look at in New York City.
Nightlights are pretty.
They are. There's a lot of people at this hour. There's still plenty of people out on the street, especially in this neighborhood. If it's about 10 o'clock, that's about when the club would open.
So we're walking
night
out as
of
the
clubbing.
VIP lines building up.
Yeah. Precisely.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna be walking along the street in Bushwick a little bit. You're probably here's the question: train or rideshare?
Train. Well, that's my vote. That's Mickey's vote.
I vote rideshare.
Rideshare.
Every time. This is how.
You know what? I
is.
just realized y'all
Let's-
left your phones at the club. So
Yeah, we fucking
think
did.
you're
We're
taking the
going to a
train.
train.
No. Devil do like the thumbs and like try to flag
just
down
get
the
a-
taxi
like
or
a
You're gonna
cab?
something.
hitchhike?
Yeah.
You're gonna
a
hitchhike in New York
taxi
City?
in New York? What?
You
Valerie's
understand
You can
that your
stop her
life
if you want.
expectancy.
Dev, please.
Mickey just
put your hand down.
reaches out and lowers her hand.
A taxi
What?
pulls over and stops for you.
It might
Oh
be
my God.
cash cab. Get in. She'll go in.
Holy shit!
No way! It's fucking drops cash card.
I
Okay.
did.
Oh my God. All right. All
So
right.
question, who's sitting up front or are you all squeezing in the back?
I'm
She's in
sitting
the
in the
back.
front. I'm sitting in the front.
All right,
Shotgun.
Valerie's in the
Oh,
front.
shotgun.
Are you
Hell yes.
actually?
Yes. Just sit in the back.
The guy driving the car, he's a portly man. He says, "Hey, how are you three doing? Yeah. Where are you headed? Yeah, night out on the town?
Are you intoxicated?
Holy shit!
No, man. I
Oh,
just
God.
way. I just
He's
it just talk like
excited.
this.
He's just
Devola
excited to have some.
The car
people
is
in.
running and he's pulling out onto the street.
Where are we going? Is this a story? Is that where it is?
It is. It is the same venue as last time.
Yeah. Oh, that was just Mick.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh,
if
Devola
this-
is looking
Story,
for lights and cameras in the back.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I don't know. I don't know if they recast the host of Cash Cab, but you should really know at this point that this ain't it.
This is a cash cab.
You should know.
God, I forgot all about Cash Cab. What a fucking reference.
I love
And-
cash cab.
Everything that I had planned this session out the window as I improvise a full episode of Cash Cab.
Jesus.
Just. Valerie looks visibly stressed. She's putting her head in her hands.
So this gentleman, he drives a little erratically. Maybe he is intoxicated. Maybe he's just a taxi driver in New York. He takes you up. At some point, probably, you cross the border between Brooklyn and Queens. You head up to Astoria. And, alright, you just want me to drop you off somewhere around here? Is this where you wanted to be?
Are we in the right spot?
More or less.
No, this is fine, mate. It's all right. And he just gets out of the car because Mickey has no money.
Oh, Kurt fucking did.
He's not gonna walk away. He's just getting out of the car and standing next to it and waiting. Like he's keeping.
He's looking
within
at you, Valerie. The
Dev is
drive-
out already.
Yeah.
Oh, you fuckers!
Hey, you wanted
Um,
to sit in the front.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I have a plan. Hold on. Let my brain work.
I'm sensing
I'm concerned.
mischief. Yeah.
You are correct. Okay. I don't know if I could just compel, but I want to compel.
It's
Um.
you look into his eyes,
Mhm.
you draw upon your power, and you tell him what you want him to do. No longer than a short sentence. a single action, a simple command.
Okay, so my concern is with wording this. If it's like, oh, thanks for the free ride.
That will not do it.
Fuck.
Your abilities do not work well by implication. Your
Damn
command
it.
has to be very clear and direct.
So just say exactly
You can
what
leave now.
with
I don't know.
you're in the car still.
I know.
You
Well, I'm
need
gonna get out of the car.
practice.
I don't know what to do.
If you look at him and you say you can leave now, he'll nod and say, "Yep."
I'm
You
getting out of the
can't
car.
tell him what he can do. Tell him what to do.
Okay.
This is dominate.
I understand. Okay. All right. So if I said like, I'm sorry, my brain is just not fucking doing
Something like you're gonna give us this ride for free.
Oh, okay.
Something like leave.
Okay, just leave.
Something like drive away.
But get out of the car first.
Yeah. I'm stepping out of the car and I'm gonna pretend like I'm reaching into like, I don't know, my boot or something for money. And then I'm gonna look up and then just say, drive away. B.
You look into his eyes and you call upon this power, which you understand innately from somewhere inside yourself. And his eyes, they go blank. His expression goes blank. And after you give the command, he just sits back in the driver's seat. He puts the car in drive, and he pulls out into the road and leaves.
Yay.
Cool.
I didn't have to roll anything for that. I just do it.
Not against an unsuspecting mortal.
Oh, okay. That's pretty
Good to
cool.
know.
And then she's gonna turn around and lock eyes with the other two and go, "Y'all suck, you know that?
You're the one that wanted to sit in the front of the car.
You expected me to pay?
Do you expect me to pay?
You're gonna pay me back for that suit that you ruined?"
What? You mean you didn't just tell them we don't have to pay for this when we got the clothes?
Mind your business.
We don't have to pay for this, for the record, also would not work.
Mickey doesn't know.
Yeah.
You guys really are little baby vampires. You got a lot to learn.
Yeah.
What about you won't collect payment from this?
I'm leaving.
Maybe
with this
something like "let us leave."
Oh. Okay.
When you use dominate on someone, think of them like a puppet and you are pulling their strings. They don't work well on implication. You have to be directly manipulating.
Compel or dominate? Is that not a... Oh, never mind, I'm dumb. Continue, carry on.
You're not dumb. All right. So you reach Astoria. You remember the location from last time, and you're here about an hour early. So you can just head into the building where you see what looks like kind of the entryway for an art gallery. It looks like that because that's what it is. There's a desk where you would, pay entrance fare or a donation or some such, and there's a mortal who's behind the counter. But you pay this mortal no mind. You don't pass that desk. Instead, you head into these sort of big, kind of industrial side doors, right? Which lead to a rather cramped stairway upward. And you climb several flights of stairs until you reach a new gallery entryway that is much more. There's a lot more personality in this one. The lights are a little darker, a little more atmospheric, and there is a sign which it christens this establishment the Art Hole. You all are familiar with this place. You've been here before. You enter the Art Hole, and it is a deeply expressionistic, avant-garde, modern art gallery with various paintings and sculptures, kinetic installments, screens, and moving electronic artworks, which are scattered across a very large open walking area, a showing floor, right? And on the far side of where you entered, there are these massive floor-to-ceiling glass windows with a view of Manhattan across the East River. It is very early. I mean, you guys are here an hour early like you're supposed to be, so it's just you. Except for as you enter, there's one other person who seems like she's sort of just feeling out the space, or maybe she's just waiting for you to arrive. You all know this person. She is the keeper of Elysium. Her name is Catherine Weiss. She appears young. She certainly appears younger than she is, more so than most vampires. Late teens, maybe. She's dressed in a jacket with a fur collar and these fashionable pants, a rather modern look, but distinct from that, not really matching with it much, is what looks like honestly a rather shabby scarf. I'm talking like a knit wool scarf, which she has wrapped around her neck and covering the lower half of her face, so her face is obscured from the nose down. You have never seen her without the scarf, and you've never seen the lower half of her face, but you have seen her eyes, which are blue, her hair, which is a darker blonde color, and she stands with the posture, with the assurance as any of the elders who you know. There's already music playing. It's this sort of you could say a charismatic and charming waltz, a little out of flavor with the modernistic visual artwork. It's more of a classical piece, but she seems to already have the sound system up. And as you all arrive, she simply turns and says, "I thought for a while you all might be late."
We're early.
No, you're on time. There's moving equipment in the back. We need to clear out some of these pieces. I think Arturo might like to dance again.
I'll just get it out of the way.
Right.
We do have to make sure there's room to dance.
Mickey, you should try dancing.
I can dance
You can?
if I want to.
Oh,
He can leave
no.
his friends behind.
All right. And Valerie's just like going to do whatever we were just told. No. No. No.
She'll put her hand up to high five Mickey.
Oh yeah, he does it. Yeah, for sure.
Just
I don't
hear
like
an
this music.
audible,
I'm changing it.
I love this music.
Yeah, I like that.
It's a little too much for the occasion. So, Catherine, and for the record, I don't know if you all would have tried to call her Miss Weiss or something. She
Not
prefers-
Mickey.
Yeah, just call her Catherine.
That's what he would call her. Yeah.
Do not call her Kate or Katie or Kathy or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Call her Catherine.
Mm-hmm.
She puts you all to work. She is very specific about how to safely move some of this artwork around in a way that kind of frees up space. She's not having you move any of it like into storage. She's having you kind of rearrange things so that there's room for you all to so that there's room to dance, but still so that people can see the artwork. She seems to care about it. If there's, what does the working dynamic look like? Do you guys joke around at all? Do you chat either amongst yourselves or with Catherine? Or do you all just work in silence until it's time for Elysium? That's a valid option.
I think Mickey would chat everybody up, but he doesn't really have a good feel for Catherine. He would talk to her a little bit, like, you know, if he says something and he's looking for like feedback, and if she's quiet, he'd be like, "Oh, what do you think, Catherine?" Just to get her attention and have her participate, like try and make her part of the conversation. But yeah, he's definitely chatty.
Yeah, anytime you ask, it would be, I want it a little further this way, or
Certainly.
rotate it around that way. Give it
Like-
about 45 degrees.
Like, Catherine, you put together any of these? Are any of these yours? I don't know what you do. I just know that this is the place that we hold this. Thought it was interesting. You're an artist, or were an artist.
I'm not an artist.
Hmm.
I'm the owner.
You
This
don't have.
gallery is mine.
Hmm.
So now you understand, it's not the only Elysium in the city, but it's my favorite Elysium in the city.
Sure. Very good.
And now you understand why I want you to rotate another 45 degrees to the left.
All right.
Good.
Valerie's probably working in silence, I would think, for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
She's probably constantly checking, like, if there's, like, clocks in here or anything, or, like, you know, if there's a clock to check, she's looking at it, or looking at the door, waiting to see people, like, start filing in and stuff. But, doing work.
The only clock in the gallery is part of a kinetic sculpture that's a
No.
commentary on capitalism, but it is a
No.
functioning and accurate clock.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Wow.
So, I'm checking that clock.
well, an hour will go by in about the span of an hour.
Devola will be humming while she works, unless someone talks to her.
I mean, Mick would engage with everybody, like not just Catherine.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay. Yeah.
But if he sees Valerie constantly looking at the clock, it's, oh, you know, watch pot never boils. You gonna help out? Or you just gonna stare at the clock?
I'm helping. It's hard to move in these. I'm sorry. And she's like shuffling in her boots.
Well, perhaps bring some flats next time or something until the
I-
people get here.
Didn't think that we were gonna be moving these things. I'm sorry.
You could take them off.
Give them some advice.
I imagine they give her like an extra 3 or 4 inches of height. It's probably a pain in the ass to get in and out of them. No, it's okay. I'll be okay. I'll figure it out.
Pick me up so I can put my shoes on.
Basically.
Yeah, she probably asks for help with balance.
How tall is she?
She is 5'7", so she's probably like 5'10"-ish now with the platforms.
So she's an inch taller than Mickey in those platforms.
Nice.
All
I
right.
love this.
I think Dev's the shortest.
How tall is Dev?
5'5". Little.
I am.
The short bean.
All right. It is now time for this track. Getting to about 11:45. Catherine, she's looking over at everyone's work, and she's nodding. She has the space set up in such a way that all of the art is on display and very visible from the center. And but there's still enough room for people, a good amount of kindred to gather and mingle. And as she is doing this, after a moment, Devola,
Mm-hmm.
you can hear the doors, the entrance doors downstairs opening and closing. And when you hear this, you can see Catherine also kind of turns her ear toward that direction. And Catherine says, "The prince is here." And she kind of shoos you to the side. And then she kind of takes center stage. And sure enough, a few moments later, an individual enters from the same way that you came. An individual who you've met before and who you know as Prince Helene Penard of New York. She is she's about 5'6". You might describe her as matronly. She's wearing this perhaps kind of antiquated gown, the sort of thing that might pass for like modern fashion inspired by like a roaring 20s vibe. But it's still a gown. It's a dress that falls down to the floor. It's sort of this. It's a very pretty kind of gold color with sparkly bits. I don't have a lot of fashion vocabulary.
You're doing fine.
uh,
Sequins.
see, I don't know. Is it sequins?
I don't know. It could be. Could be
Is
whatever
that
you want it to be.
is that what the
It's
Prince
sequins
of New
now.
York wear?
Yeah.
Could be. Sequins, could be.
Sequins are flashy.
Yeah.
And she stands with like this. She stands with her back straight, with her chin up. And as she enters, Catherine gives her a respectful nod. And Catherine says, "Good evening, Prince Penrith." Prince says, "Good evening, Catherine. I see that the art hole is still impressive despite its crude title." And it's hard to tell. You can't see it under a mask, but you think Catherine might smile at that.
See the ears.
See it in the eyes.
You can see it in the eyes. Yeah.
If there
yes.
was still work that needed to be done, Mickey would just continue doing the work. But if the bulk of the work is already done, when she's walking in, he's just going to walk over to the tall windows, put his back to them, and just look out the window. He's gonna busy himself over there.
The prince obviously notices you.
Hmm.
And she says, "Is your new help serviceable, Catherine?" Catherine nods and says, "They're doing fine enough. I'm not disappointed in them." "Well, I hope you're happy for the help. Now, show me to your newest piece." And Catherine and the prince, they sort of walk off to the other side of the room, very much leaving the two of you alone. Like you're not there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And as this, shortly after that, more kindred start to arrive. Kindred who you know. There is, not long after the prince, there is the sheriff, Kadir Al-Ismai. He's tall and handsome. His features are striking and angular in a way that is nice on the eyes. He wears an expensive suit, as always, and he carries a sword on his hip, some sort of saber. After him, Thomas Arturo. He's dressed nicely. You know him as the Toreador Primogen. Dressed in a suit, white suit with red accents. Then Maz, the rather eccentric herald with an empty gun holster on his hip, and so on and so forth. Kindred, some of whom you recognize, some of whom you don't, start to fill in. They mingle with each other. They smile and greet each other. There's handshakes. There's laughter. There are what are presumably jokes every now and then. Not a lot of them pay you three much mind as of now, which leaves the question, what are you all up to? Is there anyone in particular that you're waiting for, or anyone that you'd like to talk to?
You don't have to ask me that.
I know who you're waiting for. How about the other two?
Mickey is he honestly, like, he's kind of just not acknowledging them, these higher ups, so to say, as they walk in. but he does occasionally look over. Well, you know what? He would acknowledge the sheriff. He'd
Mhm.
give him a nod or whatever, but the rest of them, whatever. But he would occasionally look around to see if Marlena is here.
Noted. Sheriff's one of the first to get there.
Yeah.
When he enters, you give him that little nod.
Mhm.
He looks at you. He clearly noticed it. He recognizes it.
Mhm.
And the only acknowledgement that you get in return is a brief pause as he looks at you. And then
Mhm.
he continues on
Valid.
his way.
Mickey smiles at that.
Devola.
Well, I mean, she'll look for
Crid.
Thomas and Crid, of course, just to see if
Shit,
Crid's
that's
there.
Right. Crid. Damn it! How did I forget about
Not
Crid?
How'd you
necessarily-
forget Crid?
His name is
Um,
right here on this piece of paper because yeah, he's okay. I'm also looking for Crid as well.
So, before Crid arrives, there would be Calibros, who most of you did not meet last time, but
I
Mick
know who he
did
is,
see
though.
him. He
Yeah.
is one of the unfortunately afflicted Nosferatu. His skin is patchy and discolored. It seems sickly. It's not natural. His head is completely bald. His ears are these shrunken little things on the side of his head. His eyes are beady and recessed and a sick red color. And his mouth is just rows of needle teeth in both directions, such that he can't even properly close his lips. And when his mouth is closed, his teeth seem to rub on his gums to the point where sometimes you can see a little trickle of blood down the corner of his mouth. Calibros, when he enters, he immediately finds the prince, and he gives her a low nod, nearly a bow, and she takes his hand and gives him like a little bit of sort of a what's the word? A real cool curtsy, right? It is not long after Calibros that Crid arrives. And I know how much you guys love Crid. Crid is also Nosferatu, but he's lucky that he looks much more human than Calibros does. Whereas Calibros is clearly a monster. Crid could pass for a very ugly human. His features...
Say that about Crid?
It's just the truth.
Beauty's on the inside.
Crid
Indeed.
looks very much like a Neanderthal, or Neanderthal, or some other,
Bigfoot.
even a more ape-like ancestor. His forehead hangs well over his eyes, and he's got a very bushy unibrow across that bad boy. His nose sits at an angle that you've never really seen a person's nose sit at before. He's very big, but he loses a few inches of height just because he's hunched forward very much. And his massive hands have tufts of hair growing on the back of them. He arrives, and he is the first Kindred to come through those doors after you all, who seems to actively notice you all, and Mickey gives you a little wave.
Oh, he would acknowledge. He would return the gesture.
Wow. Devola, did you say that you wanted to talk to Arturo, or are you just going to...
Well, Yeah. Well, she'll wave at Crid if she sees Crid come in and like look her direction, and then she'd go look for Arturo.
So Arturo, he would be one of the first ones here as well. He is talking to the prince at the moment. What is your intelligence plus etiquette?
Oh, sorry.
Let's see. Oh. Plus etiquette. Hey, actually, not too bad. 5.
5?
Yeah.
Oh, that is pretty decent. Don't interrupt him while he's talking to the prince.
Yeah. Dev knows that much. So after that, I guess she'll just... I don't know, do they seem like they're like really into it, or is it like conversations kind of ending soon sort of thing?
Ooh, another one. How about a wits and insight?
Oh
I
no.
feel like it's first.
Would you like to roll, or would you like to take half?
Well, I have 2 total dots between those two. I don't know what the best would be. I mean, half would
You
just
could
be
either
1,
take,
right?
Yeah, you could take 1 success, or you could roll it, and you could get 2. You could crit. I think there's literally a 1% chance of that happening. Am I wrong?
I'll just take half.
Okay. Yeah, so with 1 success, they're talking like old friends.
Okay.
Like they very clearly they've known each other a long time. But there's sort of a Arturo seems to kind of breach the prince wall, right? Where they could talk not quite as equals. The prince is not allowing him to talk as an equal, but he's closer than most people get, right?
Okay. Is Liz here?
Liz would be arriving soon after. Liz would enter. This is Elizabeth. She's relatively tall. Her blonde hair, she wears pulled back in like a very smart, stylish ponytail. She's wearing a very fashion-forward, kind of like we call this look business fashionable type of suit with heels. And this pair of glasses, which you've never seen her wearing before, but that like really ties the look together, right? As she comes in, she kind of like surveys the room a little bit. She does seem to notice Arturo talking to the prince before she notices you. But then she comes in and she finds you and she says, "Oh, hey! Devola! I'm glad that you're here." Oh, well, I suppose you would be here, right? You are helping now. She kind of looks around the room and she smirks a little bit, and it's pretty clear that she's having a bit of a laugh at your expense.
Devola is she's beaming. She's happy to see Liz. Oh, I wouldn't miss it even if I wasn't forced to be here, for lack of a better word. I love those glasses.
Thank you. Aren't they just precious? And she kind of like, she makes a bit of a show of adjusting them on her nose and whatnot. I think you have to consider something like this for your next big look. We could talk about it sometime if you like.
Oh, absolutely.
Yay. Well, I'm gonna go say hi to Thomas, and perhaps we could all chat a little bit later.
Oh, that sounds wonderful.
And she heads off, and as she sort of approaches Prince Penard and Thomas Arturo, she does not interrupt, but when Arturo notices her, he sort of excuses himself briefly from the prince and goes and says hi, and they, there's a bit of laughter, a bit of upbeat chatter. Next up would be Marlena. She appears to be a woman in perhaps her mid-20s. She's, well, obviously with these individuals, their true age, you can't tell by looking at them. But while she is clearly a woman who was embraced in her mid-20s, her frame is, she's thin, rather diminutive, perhaps. Her hair is short in this kind of pixie cut, and the short hair pairs well with her rather athletic build. It pairs less clearly but more interestingly with the white dress that she's wearing. And then striking most of all is the eye patch that she wears over her right eye. As she enters, she kind of gets the lay of the social scene. She checks out who's here, as you know Kindred do. She notices you, Mick. And there's a moment where you could see that like her eyes kind of linger on you. There's not much that you can tell from her expression. But you do make eye contact.
When we make eye contact and her eyes are hanging on me for a minute.
Her eye, I should have said.
Her eye,
Oh.
yes. Yeah, I mean, it slipped through.
Yeah.
It is obvious, right? He's going to he's gonna put a hand on his chest and then look behind him, look at her, then look in the other direction, and then he's gonna walk over to her like, "Oh, me?"
She does not like that.
Yeah. He doesn't care.
You can, if you want to roll wits and insight to get a little more, or if you just want to take half, you can. But
let me take a look
her
here.
nose scrunches a little bit.
Okay, let's see. Wits and insight. Oh,
Correct.
you know what? Is this something where I have to roll a hunger die?
Yes.
Oh.
I'll say that for roles such as this that aren't very like physically active, there's not really a way for you to messy critical. But if you do get a messy critical, I'll probably give you a compulsion instead.
You know what?
Yeah.
In the heart of the character, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
take half. I'm gonna roll it.
Roll it. First roll.
I failed both of them.
All right.
2 2s.
Yeah, she, for best you can tell, she just doesn't really like that you're that familiar with her.
Oh, he's just being a smart ass, but yeah.
Yeah.
But he would
So-
approach her if she'll
Yeah.
speak with him.
I mean, she doesn't like flee.
She didn't walk
you
away.
know?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Mhm.
He says, Primogen, or can I? I'm not sure how this works. Is it Primogen? Do I call you Marlena? Which one is it?
Primogen's fine.
The handshake.
Marlena's fine.
Okay. And handshake, yeah?
She'll shake your hand.
Great. Still sort of getting used to all this. I told you last Elysium that I wanted to talk to you about some things. If there's time.
This would be the time.
Great.
But I'll say
Alright.
hello to the prince first.
All right. You go rub your elbows, and when you're ready, I'll just be right here.
Great. And she leaves you high and dry. And
I'm
there's you're noticing that there's very much like a circle kind of surrounding the prince, and you recognize a lot of the Primogen who you met last time sort of surrounding her. New York has an exceptionally large Primogen council for a Camarilla city.
right.
You see of the ones that we've mentioned, you see Calibros, the Nosferatu Primogen, Thomas Arturo, the Toreador Primogen, now Marlena, the Bruja Primogen, as well as others. Carter Vanderwyden, the Malkavian Primogen, he arrives not too long later. Valerie, you have met Carter, but he's not the one that you're waiting for. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right.
I'd probably smile and give him a nod or bow or something, I guess. I don't know. When she sees him, both at the same time, smile, bow. I don't know.
You'll give a rather subdued smile and nod in return. And then he will go join the circle of kindred, just basking in the radiance of the prince. Valerie, how do you... Both Devola and Mick have gone and spoken with individuals. You've been very quiet. How do you look? Just feel like you're just waiting by the door.
I don't like that I'm being saved for last. She is literally just I'd say pretty stiff, just like standing by the door. You know, probably has her hands in front of her. Like maybe like holding her fingers together or something like that, or like crossing her fingers, if that makes sense. I don't know how to explain what I'm doing, but I'm physically doing it right now. And just kind of like maybe doing a little sway, just like waiting back, you know, just waiting. Probably looks really awkward. Like,
Probably standing there for an awkward amount of time.
yeah.
Interlacing her fingers, I think, is
Yes.
what you mean.
That's a
That
good...
is what I meant, yes.
There you go.
Depending on when all
snaps.
this happens, if Dev has done her rounds and sees her sitting by herself or standing alone, she'll probably hang out.
Absolutely. I mean, Liz is talking to Arturo, so kind of left you hanging. There are other Toreador, you know, other kindred, just sort of in general, who are arriving and mingling. A few Toreador, a few Malkavians, people who you might have met last time, but, you know, aren't as influential in the city as the Primogen. So you could hang out with them. Some other names that you've met last time, and I know that there are a lot of names. Any of them can be important, and when they come up again, I won't let you forget them. Don't worry. But Eugenio Estevez, better known as Genie, the Tremere Primogen, he arrives. You spoke with him a bit. He's a friend of Arturo's as well. So does Valentine, an untitled kindred, but an eager socialite. And, you know, etc. So there's all of them that you could be mingling with. Unless you'd rather go say hello to Valerie, who is indeed just bouncing on her heels by the door.
Should probably at least go check on Valerie.
Okay. What does that look like?
Everything all right?
Yep, just waiting for Victor.
Oh,
Yeah, thought he'd be here by now.
are there still Kindred coming in, or is it?
I mean, it's starting to taper off.
You want some
He's
company
crowding.
while you wait, or you good just standing here?
I mean, good talk. She looks like she's pouting. Did you meet anyone new?
Not yet. I plan to. A lot of faces here. How about you? Have you talked to anyone new, or you just been waiting here the whole time?
Just waiting. I saw Carter. I didn't say anything though. I just kind of smiled, and I'm awkward still. It's a lot different in the club from these social gatherings. Yeah. Crowds make me uncomfy.
Are you always uncomfortable? Are you uncomfortable at the club, or just here?
No, I think it's just here because of the looming threat of doing something wrong. At the club, everything's okay though. It's actually kind of fun.
He grins. It is. It is.
I'm getting used to your
Okay.
music.
Good. I hope so.
I realize that sounded mean, but no, it's actually like not entirely like annoying like I thought it was gonna be. So yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
So I'm glad you like it.
Somewhere in the art hole, Nikki doesn't hear it, but he dies a little bit on the inside. Well, or unlifes a little more. I don't know what you want.
he dies further.
Yeah.
He's dying so hard that he actually starts to come back to life a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can light a cigarette without burning to death now. Maybe.
Maybe.
She's still visibly like bouncing on her heels, like Yirco said, and just kind of like still looking towards the door, like.
Well, don't let your waiting spoil the whole night. If he comes, he comes. If not, I'm sure you'll see him again. Well, who knows what he has going on, right? You know, she kind of quiets down a little bit. You know, Liz barely gave me the time of day. I mean, the time of night. She catches herself and corrects herself. I can't, you know, she only said like 2 things to me. We used to be real close.
Yeah.
The door opens and Victor is there.
Yay.
She'll see Victor and give Valerie a little pat on the back, and then scoots off into the crowd.
All right. Valerie is doing that similar shuffle to run over to him.
Victor is a not particularly unhandsome man, not a particularly handsome man either. He's about the same height as Valerie. He wears a nice suit. A not very flashy suit, but it's clean and it's pressed. It's almost professional. His hair, which is dark black, he wears kind of gently pushed back, and his eyes are very alert, sort of always taking things in. His expression, almost stone dead by default. Then when he enters the door, when he comes through the door and he enters the gallery, first person he sees is Valerie. And he looks at you, Valerie, and he gives you a soft little smile, and he says, "It's almost been too long."
She's gonna hug him. She's like a solid 3 inches taller than him right now, though. It's gonna be a little awkward, but she's gonna like bend down to like hug him.
He'll about halfway reciprocate the hug.
I hear you chuckling over there. I thought you weren't gonna come.
Why would you think that?
Well, I don't know. I was just waiting for a little bit, and it's okay. I just, got a little nervous is all.
Well, don't be nervous next time. It's not a good look. How have your nights been, Valerie? And he will sort of put your arm in his, as if you've taken his arm, and kind of lead you into the gallery as if you weren't here an hour before he was, right?
Right. It's been okay. I talked with, we cleaned stuff up in here first, and I talked with Dev, and I looked at Carter, and I think that was about it. God damn it.
If at any time Victor looks in Mick's direction, he would wave to him. That's it, just wave.
Victor looks around all over the place. He's a scanner, right? And when his eyes fall on you, Mick, he'll smile and he'll return the wave.
Yeah.
Why haven't you spoken with anyone, Valerie? What's the point of coming out to these Elysiums if you're not going to mingle?
Well, I was just waiting for you, and I kind of just got sidetracked, and then, Dev started talking to me, and it was a whole thing.
It means so much that you wait for me, Valerie. And he looks into your eyes as he says this. But if you wait too long, then you're going to waste all the time that I've invested in you.
She's pouting again. Okay. Okay, yeah, I get it. And she kind of, she kind of huffs a little bit, like. I don't know what else to say. Sorry.
Should we go talk with the friends that we made last month?
Yeah, we can do that. If you want.
And, he'll kind of lead you to the same sort of, like, little, blob of Malkavians who sort of mingle with each other and talk and discuss their goings-ons. And, there will be chatter, Victor will encourage you to talk about some of the work that you did, some of the. Have you done any research? Like, is that part of your field at all, or are you like?
I would say no on. I mean, with the doctorate, probably she's probably had to have done something. I personally did not think about it.
That's fine.
So
He'd encourage you to discuss your work. And many of the other Malkavians find it rather impressive, and they'll discuss what they have going on. As this is happening, it's just person after person with Elysium. How about that, huh? Another individual comes through the door, and this individual is Gareth.
oh, yes.
He's wearing this sort of gray suit with a black shirt and tie. Clearly not as expensive or as nice as most others here, but he's putting in the work, right? He enters. He sort of looks around, immediately kind of fish out of water, and as fate would have it, he makes eye contact with you, Mick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about the response you get too. And immediately he puts you in the rear view mirror.
Good.
And he heads over to some other kindred. He shakes a couple hands. He says hello, good night, etc. He doesn't look as eager about it as a lot of the other kindred here, but maybe he just kind of has resting bitch face, as the kids say. So that's just about everyone who you know has arrived at Elysium. If there's anyone in particular that you guys would like to talk to, now's your time. Make some connections, ask some questions, maybe try to get your name out there.
Well, Mick's waiting on Marlena.
Noted. I'll also say that if there's nothing specific that you want to, no one specific that you want to talk to, or do or say, we could also consider your time here as a kind of project where we'll establish a goal that you have, and make a couple of social roles to just sort of try to pursue that goal. Could be something like, trying to develop good standing with the Toreador in the city or something like that, right? That sort of thing is available to you. So with those in mind, Mick seems pretty set on talking to Marlena. As the night continues, Marlena will be speaking with the prince pretty regularly, and then she'll be speaking with other Primogen. There's not really like a supernatural point where she's not talking to anyone, so you're gonna have to get your foot in the door, right? But if your criteria is that she's not talking to the prince anymore, you get that opportunity. She seems to be just sort of idly speaking with a woman. She seems to be in her early to mid 20s. She wears a head covering, probably it seems for religious purposes, and the two of them, this woman that you don't know and Marlena, seem to be having a rather half-hearted conversation with each other,
Mhm.
more out of obligation than anything else.
Mm. Mm.
Might be your chance.
Yeah, he's walking up, just hands in his pocket, casual,
Mhm.
like it's, uh uh why? Hello? Primogen? Trying to get
They
her attention.
um they both look at you, and Marlena, she kind of pauses for a moment. She says, Mick. Mick, this is Samira. She's Primogen of the Banu Haki.
Ah, pleasure. And he offers her a handshake.
She'll shake your hand. It's good to meet you, Mick.
Yeah, you as well.
Yes.
Um,
Marlena, I'll let you have your conversation. And Samira kind of takes a step back and disengages, and she goes to mingle with others.
I'm just writing down who that is real quick.
Yep.
All right. He would just, if she would, he'll say, you, I mean, could we step aside for a bit so we're not so close to everybody? Just, a little distance, if that's all right.
She hesitates. She kind of weighs you a little bit. And then she says, is this Bruja business?
Yeah.
Well, all right then.
Uh,
And yeah.
As they're walking away, he's gonna go, I just saved you from a very boring conversation.
Samira's nice enough.
Well, I mean, have all the good intentions in the world doesn't mean you have good conversation. Anyway, sorry. So he's not going to say it loudly because he's going to just try and approach this with what he thinks finesse is. And he's, as soon as he's sure, like, no one's, like, right up on them, he's just going to be like, so, unfortunately, Gareth wasn't, I'm sorry, but he wasn't the best. I hardly know anything. I learned the 6 things, and that's about the gist of it. So I did have a couple of questions, and I just didn't want to have to go to him anymore. Especially because I'm pretty sure if Sheriff of Nottingham over there wasn't present, he would have ripped my face off. But I did have a big question. Well, I don't know how big it is, but it's the one that's been eating at me the most. How do you do this? How does this register?
I don't think I know what you're asking.
This fucking dog and pony show. This bow before me sort of approach. It itches. I don't care for it. I don't understand, and I just want to know how you balance it. Because if I was doing what you would be doing, well, first of all, I wouldn't look that good in that dress, but also, I don't think I'd be able to hold it together to
Mick,
what?
if it's not for you, it's not for you.
So you just enjoy this. This is your cup of tea.
It's not my only cup of tea.
Yeah. Enlighten me.
Her eyebrows kind of furrow a little bit. She just says, I think I've enlightened you enough.
Alright, well, look. I will not... I just got one more thing. One more thing. Other than you, and this is not meant to be offensive to you at all, other than you and Gareth, and this is meant to be offensive to Gareth, because fuck that arsehole, I've seen loads of these individuals around here, but the two of you are the only fucking Brujah that I've been introduced to or know, and the only reason I knew you is because I heard the word primogen, didn't even know what the fuck it meant, and had to ask ask the prince who my primogen was. I feel like a fucking sore thumb.
That was pretty embarrassing, Mick.
Yeah. Tell me about it. You think I want to be stupid? I don't like walking around looking like a fucking git.
Mick, Gareth should not have embraced you.
I mean,
think that's
Damn.
I think that's all there really is to it.
So what is this then going to be? Just let me sink or swim on my own and that's it? Just like the mutt of the litter, if he survives, then good for him. Otherwise, fuck off? Is that what this is?
I'll let you in on a secret, Mick. That's how it is for everyone. That's just what it's like. So, how do I do this? She kind of gestures to herself in the dress. I do it because I have to. And because if I have to, I might as well be good at it.
Alright.
Now, do you have any business that actually concerns Clan Brujah?
No, I think that's it.
Enjoy the rest of Elysium, Mick.
Yeah. Yeah, you...
She disengages. She heads off towards some of the more like socialites, and her demeanor noticeably shifts to like a more like sort of warm outward sort of a little more extroverted, right?
He's just gonna go fucking walk around until something catches his interest, a person or whatever.
Let's ask Devola, you up to anything specific?
Yeah, I mean, she'll see if Thomas is able to talk. And yeah, we'll go from there.
You'll be able to find a moment eventually where Thomas can talk to you. He's a very popular guy. A lot of different kindred who sort of care about who they are seen with. They want to be seen with him. So there might be a good chunk of time where you're kind of like on the periphery pretty clearly wanting to talk to him, and it's like he doesn't realize that you're there.
Okay.
I don't know how much that kind of thing. I mean, okay. I don't want to be a dick, but the precedent is set. I don't even know if Devola would notice that kind of thing.
He's not used to that, so probably
That's true.
not.
Yeah.
He probably would think that it's weird, but not know what's going on.
But eventually, you'll catch Arturo's eye, and he'll look at you, and he'll sort of raise his hands. He'll say, "Of course, our newest sister, Devola. How are you tonight, my dear?"
Oh, I'm doing really well. Happy to be here. We're here to help set up and clean up afterwards. And I don't know, it's nice to actually do the setting up for
Devola,
once.
my dear, if I were you, and he sort of leans in a little bit, and say, I'd be less eager to announce that I'm doing that sort of work.
Oh, but I just thought everyone knew.
Oh, they do. I just don't think you should be reminding them of it so often.
Okay, she'll nod. Yeah, but it's a nice space, and I'm glad that so many people are back again this month.
It is delightful, isn't it? Catherine, she'll never admit it, but she has such an eye. I hear she curates every piece herself. There's an inspired soul in there underneath all of that dourness. You're not really sure when he did it, but he's sort of taking you by the arm, and he's like kind of leading you around the various like art pieces and whatnot. So how is your club, my dear? How is your coterie?
Oh, well, we're getting along really well. It was a bit of an adjustment at first. I never shared a room like with two basically strangers, right? The club's doing well enough. I think it was a little rocky at first. I managing is not really a strong suit of mine, but people still came.
We can't all be as talented as our dear Liz, now can we?
Oh, absolutely. She's been doing it for a long time, and besides that, she has a real talent for it. My talents are elsewhere.
Oh, we are all well familiar with your talents, Devola. Your voice is angelic.
She lights up.
You know, given this opportunity, you're so close with the Keeper of Elysium. You should be performing at one of these get-togethers some night soon.
Oh, I should. That would be great. I really have to talk to her about that.
Yes. Did you know that Madison Square Garden is held as Elysium occasionally? Maybe the perfect occasion.
So cool.
Oh, it's a dream. I'd love to play there.
Well, perhaps it can be arranged with some help.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how willing she'd be to have me perform, but I mean, I'm sure if I get some people would vouch for me or put their little suggestion in, I'd be able to use that.
And he'll continue talking like this. Very interested in your work and your art. Very much kind of hyping you up, right?
Mhm,
But
mhm.
always in this almost kind of objectifying way, which for a star like Devola, that might just feel rather natural.
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's normal, I imagine.
Mm-hmm. Valerie.
Mm-hmm.
While you are talking with, while you're there talking with Victor's friends, right? There's another, Malkavian. His name is Dominic. He's talking about something or another.
Oh god.
And, in the middle of Dominic speaking, Victor, his expression just kind of drops for a second, and he just kind of looks into the middle distance. And then he blurts out, interrupting Dominic, and he says, one moment, please. And he pulls you away by the hand.
Okay.
Once you're a little bit of a distance away, he'll pull you close, and he'll speak in a soft voice, and he'll say, do you see that woman over there? And he'll gesture with his eyes across the way to a rather flashy young woman. Perhaps early to mid-20s. So many of these people look to be around that age, embraced in youth for various reasons. She's wearing this very sleek, modern black dress with a very high slit and like dangerous looking stiletto heels. And her hair is this very fiery, curly red that sort of bounces around her shoulders. She's mingling with Valentine at the moment, the socialite who you guys have heard so much about. Victor, he gestures to this woman with his eyes, and he says, do you see that woman over there?
She'll look, she'll try to be casual about it. And go, the one with the curly hair? The bright red hair?
That's the one.
What about her?
Go over and introduce yourself.
You're coming with me, right?
He looks at you again, and he says,
Okay.
go over there and introduce yourself.
Mm.
Oh, I'm not gonna like this. Okay. Okay. Alright. And she'll, awkwardly shuffle over, to this person and, oh god. Just go, hi, I'm Valerie.
She was speaking with Valentine.
Oh,
right?
I'm sorry, yeah, you did say that. I was not listening. Alright, I'm gonna stand there.
No, it's okay,
Okay.
I mean, Victor did say to go introduce yourself, so
Yeah.
you have to go introduce yourself.
Fuck.
As you approach, they notice your approach, and Valentine, he gives you a smile. Valentine is he's like about 5'10". He's got relatively soft features. His hair is cut It's blonde, and it's cut in a very stylish, sort of modern part, right? And he's wearing this very fashion forward kind of blue suit, right? He also has a deep scar across his left cheek, which runs from just underneath his nose to back underneath his ear. He gives you a big smile, and he smiles at the woman that he's talking to, the woman that you're supposed to introduce yourself to. And, I mean, you can feel it. Victor told you to introduce yourself, so take it away.
Take it away, Penny. She smiles and does a little nod and says, "Hi, I'm Valerie."
Valentine, and I'm now regretting having him be here because it's another Val name.
Sorry.
It's not your fault. Valentine, he smiles big and he kind of chuckles a little bit and he says, "Another Valerie. Well, it's starting to get crowded in here."
Oh, fuck.
And the woman, she gives a little bit of a smile to Valentine, and she looks at you, and she holds out her hand for you, and she says, "Valerie Duval."
I'll shake hand, very dainty. It's nice to meet you. And you as well. She's gonna turn to Valentine, put her hand out. I don't know if that's appropriate, but she's doing it.
He takes your hand and very naturally just pulls it in and kisses your fingers.
Oh.
And he says, "Valentine, pleasure to meet you."
She smiles and does an awkward chuckle.
Nothing about his body language makes him think that this is weird at all.
I'm uncomfy. Valerie is definitely like, she's kind of looking back for like a cue from Victor, like, what am I supposed to do here? Like,
Victor's talking to Carter, the wife.
Fuck. I don't know if you were at the last Elysium, but you know I'm new, so it's
I was actually. I quite enjoy these. Valentine, the smile of his is permanent. And he says, "You should be careful though, Valerie. Miss Duval here is dangerous." And Duval, I'll just refer to her as Duval to minimize confusion.
Okay.
She kind of smirks a little bit, and she says, "Absolutely guilty. Valerie, I serve as the Scourge for Kindred. Do you know what that is?"
Do I know what that is? I don't know what that is. Does Valerie know what it is?
I think you probably don't know what that is.
Okay, I don't know what that is. No, I'm not sure.
What do you think, Valentine? Should we tell her? She's so cute and innocent. Valentine, he sort of smirks a little bit, and he says, "Perhaps it's better if she finds out on her own." Valerie Duval, she gets this rather sinister little smirk, right? Clearly, she knows that you're uncomfortable, and she is enjoying it. It's
feeding off of it.
sadistic almost. Yeah. And, she just says, "Well, Valerie, pretty name, by the way. I hope that we can get to know each other sometime. Perhaps a time when you have your words a little bit better."
Yeah, that would probably be good. I'm not very good at social gatherings. So
She smiles, and you can see her fangs. They're distended.
why? What'd I do? And she if she could take a deep breath, she would right now. I'd like to have a conversation though, for sure. Maybe I'll find out what this scourge is after all. At some point. Words are hard.
I'm sure you will one of these nights.
I'm terrified. I'm not saying that out loud. That's me.
She kind of stands tall, and she peers out across the room. And if you follow her gaze, she is looking at another man, a kindred, who you have not met directly before. He kind of just looks like the most normal person in here. He's wearing a suit, like he's dressed up for like a function, but it's a little disheveled, it's a little wrinkled. He's got a bit of scruff on his chin, and his hair is combed but not styled. He looks tired. He's got a little bit of a widow's peak. He looks like he's pushing 40. And he looks over when Valerie Duval looks at him, and Valerie gives him the most devious smile, and he kind of visibly sickens and looks away. And Duval says to you, "Perhaps you should go ask poor Robert what a scourge is." And
yeah.
after she says that, she kind of turns back and resumes her conversation with Valentine.
That's my cue. She is looking around for, at this point, anybody else to latch on to, like Devola or Vicky or obviously Victor. Anybody?
I think Devola's still hanging out with Arturo, right? Unless you want to like pull away from him.
Oh no, she wouldn't pull away from there.
Mick's there.
Yeah, Mick's just walking the crowd.
Mick, help!
Ah,
Mick.
What? What's the matter?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't? What the fuck do you mean you don't know? You just said help.
Right. I can't believe I came over to you. Look
I
at the
can't
one.
either.
Look at the one with the
Must-
red hair. The red hair. No,
Alright.
Mick, look at me. Pay attention to
Yeah,
me. Look at the one with the red hair.
I'm paying attention. I know what a redhead is.
Mick, she's pretty hot. Just FYI.
Fuck.
He keys in. He goes, all right. What? You're
Stop
into
it.
women
Up
now?
here. And she's, oh my god, she snaps like to get his attention.
Grabs your hands like, I'm fucking paying attention. I'm
A
pissed
couple of
off, not have
kindred-
ADD.
A couple of kindred kind of look over in your direction at this commotion. And they look the two of you sort of up and down, and then resume their conversations, probably trash talking you a little bit.
Alright, she's just gonna walk away. Just make act natural.
I'm acting natural. What
No,
do
you're
you
not.
mean?
I don't know, I'm uncomfortable and
All right. Well, what
You're the
did
first
you
one I
want?
saw.
He's gonna follow after. What did you want? You
I
wanted
don't
me to
know.
look at the
That
redhead?
one scared me.
So what? The redhead?
Yeah.
Why? Why were you even talking to her?
But Victor told me to.
You do everything Victor tells you to do.
Yeah.
Why? I mean, that's a serious question. Why?
Well, you know, he hasn't steered me wrong, and I trust his his guidance.
Oh, you and I have had two completely different experiences.
Oh, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Didn't I see Gareth walking around here?
Yeah, he's fucking somewhere around here. I'm
Okay.
sure he's humping a pole or something.
Is
Are
that
you
a
all
thing
right?
people say?
What? What?
Humping a
Is
pole
that
or
a thing
something.
people say? Where did
I
that
don't.
come from?
I don't know. He's calling him a jerk off.
Okay, yeah. Sorry to interrupt, gang. Please
No,
proceed.
no, you're good.
I don't know.
Well, what
Probably
happened?
should-
Did she threaten you?
No, I just, you know how I am. I
Well,
think
look, you stick with me then, all right?
her name was also Valerie. It was a little odd.
Hmm. That is a bit odd. Well, look.
She,
No, go ahead. No, please.
she mentioned it was the Scourge of New York. Was that the title?
That was the title, yes.
Okay. I don't know what
So-
that is. Victor didn't tell me what that is.
Oh.
Do you know what that is?
No. I know nothing.
I don't know why I asked.
darling.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Where's Dev?
You can
Oh.
see Dev chatting with Thomas Arturo, getting
Being
along
a
swimmingly by
butterfly.
the looks of
Damn
it.
it.
Yeah.
Look, I don't know what the Scourge is, but it doesn't sound like anything good.
You're right. It definitely doesn't. I want this to be over. I want to go back to the club.
All right, just focus.
I
Just
was about to pull a you and you go buy cigarettes from the convenience store.
oh, he pulls out a toothpick and hands it to her.
Oh, okay. I guess I'm putting a toothpick in my mouth now.
See, great, everybody's fine. Just chew on that a little bit. It'll calm your nerves. It's a bit stuffy though, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Now you know why I left last month.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know either.
Bunch of fucking dodgy pricks. I mean, at least you have people to talk to, right? You have other, what are you? Malkavians running around.
Yeah.
Wait, was that woman a Malkavian?
I didn't ask.
The scourge of the seven seas over there. All right. Well,
I did not
suppose
ask.
I suppose it's not important, but sure that'll be just fine. I mean, you can stay with me if it makes you feel better. I'm not really doing anything. I don't have little social groups like you and Dev. So,
I mean, the Malkavians aren't that bad. You wanted to, hang out with us, but, I don't know. She's, I know you said Victor was talking to Carter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's looking over it at them, and she's just like, I don't know, I think Victor's a little, I don't know if he's upset with me or what, but he's acting different. I don't really want to bother them right now.
how do you mean different?
I don't know. No. Just not as interested as I guess normal.
I mean, if it makes you feel any better, Gareth's been giving me the cold shoulder since he bit me, and if you look at Dev over there, she's not exactly talking to, I don't know what the fuck her name is,
Liz?
yeah, sure. That one.
Well, it's different.
Well, I mean, I don't, how is it different?
Well, Gareth abandoned you, and Liz, I don't really know what's going on there, but,
Yeah, she's a bit dodgy as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the point is, it's like last month we're not paying attention. We were relieved of our sire's tutelage. AKA, they're cutting the umbilical cord, and we are to run free and be our own person.
Yeah, but that seems boring.
Does that seem boring to you?
Yeah.
You could die again at any moment because you're left to your own devices. The point is, we're not to rely on them anymore. Well, you two aren't to rely on yours anymore, I don't think. I never had that problem. There was nothing to rely on to begin with, so. And apparently I'm not even supposed to be of existence, so.
Someone tell you weren't supposed to exist? That's pretty messed up.
Well, basically she told me what I already knew, and that's that Gareth doesn't know his fucking, elbow from a monkey's arse. So he shouldn't have embraced me, is what I was told. Which might as well mean I shouldn't exist. Well, I shouldn't be here.
Well, I think you'll make the most out of it. You've got plenty of time.
Are you trying to say that you believe in me?
Don't get ahead of yourself.
I'm just asking for clarification, that's all.
And I'm clarifying with, don't get ahead of yourself.
I know what I heard.
Listen, I worked yesterday. I'm still kind of in that mode. Believe in yourself. I believe in you, Mick.
I believe this is
anything.
what's called lacking accountability to what we say. Is that correct? Something like that?
Maybe, yeah.
I'd like to check in with Devola and Arturo.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Devola, is there anything particular you'd like to talk to Arturo about?
No, she's just rubbing elbows, basically. Asking about, what projects he's been working on recently, if he's been doing anything.
Mm-hmm. Well, he'll be telling you, he'd say, well, one of my favorite personal projects, I don't know if you know this, I may be an architect by trade, but I'm also something of an interior designer. Some Kindred, even, they're very happy to come to me, and I'll design their havens, or some feature of their domain for them. And they'll... I hear it's, quite the asset, quite the hot item. And I'm happy to oblige. Perhaps someday I'll take a visit to your club and see what I can do.
Oh, that would be fantastic. I would love for you to come by and see what you could do. We haven't really gotten around to making any interior changes since we took over. It's, like I said, it was a little bumpy at start, and I think we're just now getting into a spot where it's running as smoothly as it was before.
Well, if you ever think you need an aesthetic upgrade, if you ever think perhaps a little more immortal artistry in your club, maybe I can help. Though, I must say that as delightful as you are, and as dear of a friend I think of you, I don't work for free. But if it comes to that, we can discuss the price then.
Oh, of course. I would never expect you to do anything for free.
And we don't need to weigh down such a pleasant evening talking business.
Yeah, another time.
Another time which I'm looking forward to. Wait a moment. Devola. It seems that we have an interesting guest at Elysium tonight. And he sort of he nods behind you towards the entrance, and standing at the entrance is a quite a sight of a man. Devola, Arturo pointed him out to you, but both Mick and Valerie, you'd be able to notice many of the other kindred, they all kind of hush and turn to look at this individual as he arrives. There's some murmuring. Devola, your ears are very sharp. If you'd like, you could make a roll to try to focus in and hear what some of the kindred are murmuring about to each other.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know.
So technically,
am I misremembering? I
Go ahead.
thought there was something that we're not supposed to use our powers at Elysium. Did I misremember that?
You are remembering correctly. You are not supposed to use your powers in Elysium, but there's literally no way for anyone else to know what you're doing if you were to use this particular power. So it's up to you.
Now, are you saying that as like my character thinks that there will be no way I will be caught, or is that a matter of fact?
Your character certainly cannot think of any way that someone would be able to tell that you're using this power. There's no overt sign that you're using it, unless someone was literally reading your mind.
She's not going to do anything.
Okay. I'm not gonna say that that's impossible, but Devola's never heard of it. I'm not. Yeah. The world of darkness is a big place, and a lot of things can happen. You know. So there's murmuring. There's hush murmuring as this individual enters. He's clearly very old. He's physically old. Perhaps mid-50s when he was embraced. The way that he dresses also suggests that he's been kindred for quite some time. He's got a full bushy beard and a dress that reads very much like a 19th century alderman. His hair is swept back, comes to just above the nape of his neck, which gives him a bit of the image of a lion's mane, right? And his eyes are very vibrant. He's wearing an antiquated hat on his head, a coat and trousers, and he has a cane that he walks with. It doesn't seem like he particularly needs it, but he does put a little bit of weight on it when he enters. All chatter, all regular conversation has stopped, and there's just sort of silence for a moment as everyone looks at this man. And then to break the silence, Prince Penard steps forward. And she says, "Welcome, Callahan. You enjoy the peace of Elysium." And the man, he nods low. And he says, "Thank you, Prince Penard. But I would prefer that you use my proper title." You can see the prince kind of like turn her nose upward, sort of look down at him. And after a moment, she says, "Baron Callahan, you enjoy the peace of Elysium at my pleasure." And nods. Maz, who you've met before, he's the Herald of Elysium. He sort of steps forward a little bit, and he announces in his projected voice, and he says, "Kindred of Elysium, it seems we have a guest. Baron Callahan of the Anarchs."
Oh.
Everyone is just sort of silent for a moment. And Maz, he then just says, "Glad to have such prestigious company, aren't we?" And everybody, many kindred just sort of chuckle. The prince does not. And neither does Callahan. Callahan, his eyebrows, they arc a little bit. They furrow. He seems a bit perturbed. He says, "I simply come to ensure that the peace in this city maintains. I do not wish to intrude on your gathering." And Arturo, who's still standing close to you, Devola, he kind of leans in and he says, "Yet intrude he does."
What was his name again? Baron what?
Callahan.
Callahan of the Anarchs. Okay. Yeah. Valerie, Mickey doesn't pay much attention to when attention is being drawn to people, but when he hears that he's from the Anarch, his head would whip around.
I mean, he doesn't look like any Anarch you've heard of.
It's just the title would have
Yeah.
popped his attention.
If my presence is such an imposition, then I suppose I shall depart. I simply wanted to exchange words with you again, Prince Penard, to ensure that our understanding has not declined. Penard, she nods and she says, then we can speak, Callahan. And if you'd like to speak with the other good kindred of the Camarilla, then you may. Just remember whose domain this is. Callahan kind of chucks at that and says, I believe it was your principle that this Elysium is the domain of all kindred.
Oh.
And so you are welcome, Callahan. As long as you maintain respect. Callahan says nothing at that. And then after a moment, he just sort of looks around and he kind of tosses his hands up and he gestures with his cane as if to kind of like spur an animal. And he says, well, commence your gathering, kindred. Don't stop on account of a poor old anarch. And he approaches and he closes the distance with Prince Penard. And the two of them, Penard kind of nods towards the side, and the two of them go and start talking between the two of them. If anyone gets too close, Penard shoots them a glance, a very stern glance, and very quickly they give the two of them space to talk.
Yeah, Mickey's kind of got he's interested, but he keeps getting distracted by the person next to him who can't seem to quite sit still. And he looks at Valerie for a second and he goes, all right. And he would, if she would let him, he'd hook his arm with hers and he was like, all right, come on. And he'd guide her along and he's going to take her to go find Crid. I got someone I want you to meet.
I don't want to meet anybody else. Sorry.
No, don't worry. It's just going to be one person. It's not going to be a whole mob of people.
We'll put a real quick pin in that. And Devola, Arturo, he takes both of your hands as if you've been friends for years. He gives a little squeeze and he says, Devola, it has been lovely as always, but if you'll excuse me. And he lets go and he steps away and he starts heading towards a little congregation, it seems, of the Primogen, who are they are gathering and speaking among themselves, sort of adjacent to Penard and Callahan. You are now adrift.
All right, she'll just make her way towards Mickey and Valerie.
Mickey and Valerie and Crid.
Yeah.
Oh, Crid's hanging out. Okay, yeah.
That's where Mickey was taking Valerie.
So, Crid is kind of on the periphery, as he always is. The word that is used to describe him in material is, let me make sure I get it right. Atavistic, which relating to or characterized by reversion to something ancient or ancestral.
Huh.
He looks like a Neanderthal is what that means.
Yeah. When they get up to him, he's just gonna nod to him and be like, "Hey, Crid, I just want to introduce you. How are you?
Mick.
Doing all right? Yeah. Cred.
I've been good.
Good,
Busy
good.
month as always.
Yeah, lots
Hey.
of work.
Yeah. Valerie, Devola.
Yeah,
You remember me? It's Crid. I said hi to you last Elysium.
I
Of
don't
course,
think.
I remember.
Did you meet him, Valerie? I couldn't quite remember if you'd met Crid or not. I know. I saw him talk to Devola, but
I don't remember.
all right.
It's nice to meet you, Crid, and she'll
Yeah.
or to talk to you, yes, and she'll hold out her hand.
Yeah. It's good. And he'll take your hand and shake it again. His hand is cold, dead flesh, with coarse fur growing off the back of it. But still, his handshake is energetic and pleasant. Yeah. So, how's your night going, everyone? How's Elysium? How's the shindig?
Well, I can't speak for all three of us, obviously, because I think we've all had different experiences. But it's a bit of a downer, I think, for me personally. But I'm here. So.
Yeah. I mean, not for everyone, right?
Certainly not for everyone, especially because I think there's only 3 of my clan in the entire place.
Hey, it's just me and Calibros here for us.
Really?
So, yeah.
Well, it's nice to have someone in the same situation that understands.
Yeah, most of our kind, they don't like to come up to this kind of thing. I gotta come up here to, you gotta have some nos here, right?
Exactly. Well, I'm glad you do. It's good conversation.
Oh yeah, I'm glad. Yeah, so what do you think of that, huh? Kind of crazy. And he nods towards Pennard and Callahan, who at this point have kind of merged with the Primogen, and now all of them seem to be sort of talking amongst each other.
Yeah, that's it's a bit interesting. He's got a lot of balls, I do have to say that, because there's one of him, and I can't quite count how many of them are over there. So that's.
Oh yeah, well he's not in any danger. It's Elysium. If he I mean, that's the rule, at least. That's what it's supposed to be. If he doesn't start anything, then he...
Has anybody ever broken the rules, though, before?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I believe that.
Happens a
yeah.
lot?
Nah. Sometimes, mostly it's younger anarchs. Callahan's old. And, as much as anyone leads the anarchs, it seems like he does. So, it's not the first time this has happened. He comes here every once in a while. And just, I think, tries to remind us Kindred that the anarchs are still here. But he's an old type. He knows how to play the game. Sometimes the younger anarchs, they get an idea in their head and they try to start shit in Elysium, and he kind of trails off, but his eyes flick towards Kadir and his very capable looking saber at his hip.
Are there a lot of anarchs around here then? Like, I don't mean here, obviously, like in Elysium, but in like city.
Oh yeah, sure.
I had no
There's
idea.
a good number of them. Well, if you're hanging around in Manhattan mostly, there's hardly any of them here. I think a few uptown. Most of the anarchs most of the anarchs in the city, they're going to be in the outer boroughs.
Oh.
I don't know if anyone told you this, but you really got to know. They claim Staten Island. Callahan over there makes his domain in Staten Island.
Oh no, I had no idea.
Yeah, no. Don't even get on the ferry.
Really?
Yeah, they don't take kindly to camis on their island.
Huh. Interesting.
How do they know?
Oh, they know, like
They know,
they know.
Sorry.
I mean, I'm willing to bet there's a large difference between how they are and how we are, right?
Yeah, you do this long enough, you can see in the way that they walk, seeing some of the words that they use, some of the lingo. You've been here long enough, you just, you start to get an idea of who's
You get a
cami
feel
and who's
for
not.
it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, see, Crid, you're a smart guy. I should just ask you questions when I need to know something because I wasn't taught much of anything.
I think Crid's helped you more than Gareth has.
No. I know Crid's helped me more than Gareth has. There's no thinking about it.
Well, I'm happy to talk about stuff like this that every look should know, but you ask too many questions and I'll have to send you a bill. You know what I'm saying?
That's fair.
Yeah,
That's
that's fair,
totally
of
fair.
course. Is that just something a service that you provide to anybody in the Camarilla?
Anyone who can pay.
Pay with a favor?
We Nos. We don't always like to accept standing favors as payment. A lot of times we like to get paid up front. Safer that way.
Mm-hmm.
So you give us a job, basically, or an objective that you need completed, and then you do what we ask, that sort of thing?
Or
do
just
you mean-
something we want.
Right. That's interesting. Huh. You know what? I think I kind of like that. The favor thing just seems kind of dangerous, but I mean, what do I know? I've only been doing this for a few months, so...
Yeah, you owe someone a favor and then we'll come to collect.
Yeah, I don't think I'd like having that just hanging over my head.
At this point, the prince has kind of taken the center of the stage. The prince goes, "Oh, that," and he kind of gestures towards the prince.
Well, letting more people into the club. He's gonna turn around and look.
And she kind of projects in a voice. She says,
Thaumaturgy.
Baron Callahan and I would like to remind you all of the standing peace between us, the Camarilla, and his anarchs. You are not to make violence against them. If you have domain disputes with anarchs, you are to settle it peacefully, or else speak with your Primogen, and the anarchs will speak with the Baron. And she nods towards Callahan. These are dangerous nights. These are chaotic and unpredictable nights. These are nights of instability, and instability is death to the Camarilla. Callahan, Baron Callahan, is wise enough to know that the same is true for the Anarchs. So the peace continues. And then she looks at Callahan. Callahan just speaks up and says, "Ugh. Good night, kindred of the Camarilla. It was a pleasure seeing you all." And he's not hiding how backhanded it is, and it doesn't seem like anyone in the room is under any illusion that he meant that statement. But it goes unchallenged. And Prince Bernard says, "Elysium is concluded. Everyone, return to your domains. Make New York a prosperous city for the Camarilla, and a safe city for Kindred all." And there's kind of a moment until somebody kind of starts giving a gentle applause. You're not sure who, but then it sort
It's
of
Mickey.
spreads.
Oh, what? Were we not done?
And then once the little bit of applause ends, then Pennard gives Callahan a look, and then he departs. And a few moments after that, Kindred start departing as well.
If by some chance
Yeah.
Callahan looks over in our direction, Mickey would just give him a nod. That's it. Just nod to him.
He'll look over at you, and you'll
Mhm.
see the nod. And he'll look kind of confused, and then he'll go, "Ugh." And just very bluntly dismiss you.
That makes me happy. Does it, Crid? Does that happen a lot when he shows up? It's just like, hey, don't forget, don't kill each other.
I mean, that kind of seems like that's why he comes here, right?
Is it?
I mean, you all should know, between the Camarilla and the Anarchs, there's wars going on.
Well,
There's
I mean,
wars going on.
it doesn't sound like there's a war going on when they're saying, hey, don't kill each other. I mean,
No.
although that is-
I mean, not here is what I'm saying.
Valerie's pulling away in this conversation, just for the record.
But that's a little Well, that's a little conflicting, isn't it? Though, because you just said don't go to Staten Island, or else they're gonna fucking kill us, right?
Well, yeah, but that's a deal, you know? In most other cities, Camarilla and Anarchs are not making deals. They're ripping each other's heads off. They're burning each other. They're draining each other.
Hmm.
You know? Pennard, she put a lot of work in, by the looks of it, to get Callahan and most of the other Anarchs to play ball, you know?
Yeah, she's a bit of an odd duck in that way, isn't she?
Oh yeah. No, from what I hear, I mean, I was embraced in this city. I don't know anything else, but from what I
Mhm.
hear, this is a really unique city on that front.
Hmm.
Hell, LA, Chicago, Seattle. It's rough out there.
Huh.
But hey, good night, Mick. I'm
Oh,
gonna head out.
yeah. Good night, Crid. It's good speaking with you.
Yeah.
See you next
Remember-
month then. Yeah.
If you need some Nosferatu help before then, you know how to find us. Just
Yeah.
ask and you shall receive.
Rats in the alley. Yep.
Rats in the
Rats in the alley. Bye, Crid.
I love
Bye,
that.
Devola.
That's just so fantastic. All right. Good night, Crid. See you next month. I don't know where Valerie went, but I'm sure she'll say
Crid
goodnight.
just kind of sidesteps behind a piece of artwork, and he's just gone.
I fucking love him so much.
Yeah, I love Crid.
There's something really charming about him, and I just can't put my finger on it. Where the fuck did Valerie go? He's gonna
Where
start
did
looking
Valerie
for Valerie.
go?
Valerie is looking for Victor to say goodbye.
I'm already saying goodbye to Valerie.
Yeah.
Valerie, Victor, he seems to be saying little goodbyes to various Malkavians. You could catch up with them pretty.
And he sees you and runs.
Don't be like that. Yeah, she'll wait until he's done before doing an approach.
Well, when he finishes and when you approach, he looks at you and he says, "Ah, Valerie, did you enjoy your night?"
The other Valerie gave me a bit of a fright. Define enjoy.
It's good that you met her, Valerie. You and her, you'll be hunting the same prey soon.
Soon?
And his face kind of goes stone, and he gets that 1,000-yard stare again. Soon enough. Very soon. Come to the bathroom with me, Valerie.
Oh.
And he takes your hand and he leads you downstairs.
Where are you going?
Quickie.
And he pulls you into the bathroom of the gallery downstairs. And I don't know. I'll let these other two. I'll let their imaginations run wild. But I think you know what's happening.
Yeah. Okay. Bathroom, very romantic.
That's an act of opportunity, is what that is.
Yeah. Yeah. Fuck. Okay.
Mick and Devola, you have a couple moments to yourselves.
I mean, Mick was looking for Valerie. I don't know if Dev was following him.
You give me wits and awareness. Either
Wits?
roll or take half. Yeah.
Who?
Or is it? It's awareness, right? Not alertness. Am I getting my games mixed up?
I don't. Oh, yes. Okay.
It's awareness. Yeah.
Devola, you can roll as well. And if you'd like, you can add a die for your aspects.
3 successes, and
3
none of them
successes?
were
Oh my
hunger
God.
dice.
Nice.
They were. I have 2 9s and an 8.
Okay, so how do I set this up again? Dice pool, and then hunger would be 1, right?
Yeah. Your dice pool is your wits plus your awareness, and then plus 1 if you want to add your aspects.
Oh.
Auspex. Wait, what?
It's
Auspex, that's a
it's
power, though, right?
Yeah, it's a Toreador
Oh, that's.
thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, okay. I was really confused. I was like, what?
Okay, so let's do that.
My little baby vampires don't know what Auspex is.
I have 1 success, and one of them is red with a dot.
We'll go with mix.
Okay.
3 successes, yeah.
Mick, you catch Victor leading Valerie by the hand downstairs. You'd have to kind of follow them because they get out of sight as they, round a corner down the stairs.
Oh,
You
yeah,
can
he'd
see where
follow, for sure.
Oh my
he-
God.
He probably
Is he
tapped
Is he
Dev's
telling
arm.
Dev? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
he tapped Dev on the arm
Oh.
and point when he spots them.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty
And-
easy. You can see Victor leading Valerie to the nearest bathroom.
Yeah, he called out. He goes, "Oh, is everything all right, Vic?"
He does not respond to you.
Well, that's fucking rude. He's gonna stand outside and wait.
Devola's gonna put her ear to the door.
No! 2 o'clock in the morning. I can't be yelling like that. Valerie can though, apparently.
It's. I'm trying to think what you would hear.
Rustling.
No.
No? Oh.
Okay, listen. So we're making a lot of jokes here. I don't know. Is Devola expecting something carnal?
No, I mean she's just listening.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
I was
No.
gonna say, I doubt that's what it is. Dev is
Yeah.
just being
Expect
nosy.
is not really like a Devola thing.
Yeah,
Devola simply exists.
yeah.
Well, okay. It's not that, for the record. In fact, I
Right.
don't know how much you can really glean what's happening just by sound alone. But you will hear Victor say to Valerie, he'll say, "Now, your friends are waiting outside."
Dev will immediately get as far away from the bathroom as she can.
What is it? Are you alright?
She doesn't
What was
say
it?
anything.
What the fuck is with nobody fucking answering me?
Valerie,
Am I dead? Well, damn it.
Yes.
She,
I meant.
if blood could rush to her face, it would.
go to your coterie and return to your domain.
Okay.
And, he lets you leave first.
All right. I have a follow-up question to this.
Yes.
Is this a messy act? Like, am I like covered in blood, or like how?
That's up to you. Definitely doesn't have to be. It's probably pretty clean.
Okay. She's just gonna walk out very awkwardly and just look straight and just walk outside.
Oh, he's gonna get in front of her. He's like, "Oh, are you alright? The fuck was that?"
She's not making eye contact with him.
He's getting mad.
Oh. I'm okay. I'm fine. Why were you guys outside the bathroom?
You guys, Dev's gone.
Oh, why were you not? Well, you said
It's
you're
just
friends,
Mickey.
so I'm assuming it was.
Yeah.
No, Dev ran. Yeah.
He's gone, yeah. She's
Why were you
working
waiting?
cleaning up, I guess.
Why were you waiting outside the bathroom?
Because you fucking disappeared, and when I tried to run after you to see what the fuck was going on, your whatever the fuck he is wasn't answering me. We got shit to do upstairs because everybody's fucking leaving this shit show. And you look like you just got fucking wasted.
Hey.
Hmm?
That's Catherine Weiss.
We're
Standing at
coming,
the stairway.
Catherine. I'm sorry.
You think I'm gonna stand up here waiting? Let's go.
Come on, let's go.
And,
He's gonna get to the top of those stairs and he's gonna look back at that bathroom for a minute. Just see if he comes out.
Not in the time that you wait. So, you head upstairs and you do your work. We're about to wrap up the session, but there is one more thing for you guys that I have. You put in your time, you clean up after Elysium, you get the gallery back into the shape that Catherine Weiss wants it, and then she dismisses you, and you return back to the club? Was there something that you wanted?
Oh, I was just gonna just be Mickey and say, "All right, same time next month," and just leave it at that.
She's not amused.
Yeah, I mean, he's being sociable. Like he's assuming that's the case.
Mm-hmm. Um,
He's he's not like cracking wise at her.
Catherine has you do your work,
Hmm.
and then she dismisses you, and you start to head back to Ascension.
Mickey is quiet the whole way.
It's about 4:30 in the morning. This is about when your club would be closing, and dawn's only an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours away. Um, as you start to approach the club, you can tell really quickly that something's wrong. Um, the lights inside are on. We're talking like the house lights. Um, there's no people gathered around the door like there usually is. And at the front, when you get there, the door is locked, which it should not be. It's too early for it to be closed like this. After a moment, though, because you have cameras looking out the front door, to keep an eye on the line, right?
Hmm.
You look into the cameras. You know that Boris should be watching them. And after a moment, he comes and opens the door.
Hi, Boris. Is everything okay?
We've got a serious problem. And he just kind of leads you inside without a word. And he says, "We have not called the police. We have not touched anything. We wanted to let you decide what to do."
I don't like that.
He leads you through the first floor, through the dance floor. The place is empty, except for your security guards. And he brings you to the bathroom, one of the guest bathrooms, one of the public bathrooms. He just kind of looks at you all, and he has a bit of a grave look, and he opens the door, and immediately all three of you are hit with the overpowering scent of blood. And that is where we will end our first session.
No.
Hmm.
Holy shit.
Thank you for listening. Kindred in New York is made under the Dark Pact for Vampire the Masquerade and the World of Darkness. The music you heard is by Scott Buckley. Our story will continue every Wednesday. We hope you'll join us.